Live from Lake Ariel, Pennsylvania, it is yet another edition of Frank the Lunatic Rants. What I've got to rant about today is, for those of you who don't live in Pennsylvania, you wouldn't know this, but in Pennsylvania, because we're a commonwealth, even though we're a state, technically we're not a state, we're a commonwealth, our alcohol, our liquor and everything, is basically all managed and governed by the state. There are no actual regular liquor stores like you would have in other states. Our liquor stores are actually run and owned by the state itself. So they're like a huge monopoly. There is no competition for pricing. What it is what it is. You know, if a bottle of wine is $15 here, it's $15 in Pittsburgh. It's basically the same thing. But there is a problem with that. About 3 years ago, our state legislation basically struck a blow for consumers and the state taxpayers. It decided to it directed the state-operated monopoly that basically changed its pricing formula. Rather than uniformly applying the same markup to every product in its inventory, the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board began setting markups in accordance with market factors, basically as if it was a private sector retailer, like the liquor stores that you might have in your state. Basically, with just showing interest in moving merchandise. It's using its market power as one of the world's largest alcoholic beverage wholesalers and retailers to negotiate better deals with suppliers based on variable markups, creating better profit margins, holding the line on consumer pricing, and returning more money to the state treasury. The agency itself returned about $100 million to the government under the old rules in 2016, but when they changed the rules for pricing, that more than doubled to $216 million. Now, suppliers in Pennsylvania face the same sort of protocol that they're facing dealing with private sector wholesalers, because the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board is a state agency. A collection of international trade associations for producers have actually complained to our governor that the new pricing regime violates international laws. According to groups Spirits Canada, Spirits New Zealand, Spirits Europe, the Australian Grape and Wine Group, the Scotch Whisky Association, the Great Britain Wine and Trade, Spirits Trade Union, and CEEV, the European Union Trade Association for Wine. International law requires state enterprises to use uniform markup rates to prevent them from abusing their power, which, however, is what Pennsylvania is doing. They are basically abusing their power. The state has certain obligations to its preferential market position. The new markups basically is an illegal tax concocted in secret, with skew transparency on an open market. Basically what's happening is, because there is, first of all, no competition in Pennsylvania at all for liquor, the state can charge whatever they want, and they are, because they also are a mass buyer, they're basically putting a lot of leverage on the manufacturers, the distribution companies, to get better rates and everything, but not passing those better pricings on to the Pennsylvania consumer. And that's why their profits have basically been doubling every year. It's not that the consumer in Pennsylvania is purchasing more alcohol. Well, maybe they are, but it's just that they are charging more. Like, they're getting a better deal, better wholesale deal on the product, and slightly raising the prices to the consumer, so they're making more money. It's almost like a corporate greed. it's wrong. Unfortunately, it's legal because we're a commonwealth, but it's wrong because it's screwing over. First of all, personally, I don't care about the manufacturers and the money they're making. It's screwing over the consumer. It is really screwing over the consumer. That we're paying, that they're getting great deals, and we're paying for it. We're paying more for these great deals. I mean, something's wrong when your state is making twice as much money as they used to with the same volume of sales on the average. It's wrong. Something has to be done for it. I know this is a real shitty rant. I know it is. Something needs to be done. This is why we need so much change in leadership in this state. This whole business as usual bullshit. This is why we need more independence to actually run and hopefully get into office in this state. Because it's the same old business as usual. And this is what's screwing things up. This is why things are costing so much in this state. Something needs to be done about it, basically. Again, I know this is a stupid rant, but it's just one of those things I felt like bitching about, basically. Anyhow, I am Frank the Lunatic. I, unfortunately, approve this rant, and that, my friends, is all I have to say about that.